Biggest news in the NFL as of right now is Chip Kelly was fired, released, whatever you want to call it, by the Eagles organization going into Week 17. They didn't even want to wait to the end of the season to get rid of Chip Kelly. Chris Liss joins me to break down what happened, why it happened. I mean, we kind of saw the warning signs. Chris, your initial reaction before we get on to some of the internet's reaction?
My initial reaction is he had an interesting concept, right? This sort of high, fast pace, wear out the defense, and it worked for 2 years. And then he decided to get rid of DeSean Jackson, who is just only one of the greatest deep threats in NFL history. Get rid of Jeremy Maclin, who's, even with Alex Smith and his conservative offense, is having a good year. And get rid of LeSean McCoy, who's been hurt a lot, and I don't know if that's that big a deal. And bring in some high-priced running backs that, running backs just not worth paying for like that. Yeah. And so that was, so I mean, the sort of conventional wisdom, and I'm not saying it's wrong, is he was a decent coach, terrible GM, and, the GM version of him was the problem, so he should maybe go somewhere and just coach.
Right, well, I'm trying to think real quick. Bill Belichick is one of the only other GM coaches, right, who has that much power over who they're signing and who they're not, right? So, I mean, in general, you're being compared to one of the better coaches in the NFL, if not the greatest coach in the NFL right now. And Chip Kelly, a lot of the Twitter reactions were Chip Kelly, the GM, got Chip Kelly, the coach, fired.
Right, and I think that's legit. I mean, he also did some really cowardly things. He was punting on 4th and short and plus territory. He was doing all this stuff that was cowardly, and I'm not sure if the NFL just kind of wore him down, the scrutiny, whereas he had confidence in Oregon to do whatever the hell he wanted, he started feeling the dumb beat writers who say, oh, you could have, you shouldn't have gone for it on 4th down. He started coaching like a coward. Basically surrendering games when it wasn't yet over, just punting. Right. Even 4th and 10 from your own 20, when you're down 2 or 3 scores with 10 minutes left, you just got to convert that to get the touchdown. That's the only, once you punt, it's over. And he did some of those things. So I don't know. I just feel like he kind of fell off. I think he got a little spooked by the whole, how much negativity he was getting.
Yeah. And I think he read into the media a lot. I think that was actually weighing a ton on him.
It seemed like he started coaching scared. He just started coaching scared. Again, I'm a Giants fan. I'd like to get rid of Tom Coughlin. I think, he has his merits, but he's done. It's passed him by, and he's made terrible decisions. And I would rather see a Chip Kelly, who may be terrible and has his flaws, than some cookie-cutter retread that's just going to punt and do the same damn thing over and over. I think at least with Chip Kelly, there's a chance that he could bring that system with a competent GM and better players. The Eagles had good players before he sent them all packing, though.
That's true. To make your life miserable, I know that they're going to hire Ken Wisenpunt.
And
by the way, they're going to punt on 3rd down.
I would stop rooting for them if they do that.
You pull a Ben and cut up a Redskins hat. You cut up a
Ken Wisenpunt is just beyond
Giants hat.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we turn to our favorite YouTuber in the world when it comes to Philadelphia Eagles reactions. EDP, which is Eat That Pussy, was very quick to respond to Chip Kelly's firing.
Chip Kelly, what's up with it, cuz? Get the fuck out of here, bitch! Oh! You like that? Take you and that college-orientated shit and that shotgun shit the fuck out of Philly. I just got the news. The Eagles fired head coach Chip Kelly. Get the fuck out of here, bitch! You like that shit? You like that shit? Go sit back, motherfucker, and ruin my motherfucking team, nigga. You like that shit? Get the fuck out of here, bitch, and never the fuck come back, my nigga. And you can take Coach AZ, Billy Davis, all them motherfuckers with you, cuz. You like that shit? Chip Kelly, sayonara, hasta la vista. Get the fuck out of Philly, bitch. Woo!
I'm with that guy.
He gets it. I mean, but he's not wrong.
Well,
a little profane.
Well, no, it's not that. He's a little harsh, but I do think that that's how I feel. Just watching the NFL weekly with the decisions these coaches make, I feel about so
this
many.
Guy is chitty.
I mean, he's obviously a passionate Eagles fan, but I bet on games. I have fantasy interests, and these guys screw me over all the time. I mean, they do things that are just stupid and just cowardly, and it really. I'm with him. I think it's great.
I've always been a fan of EDP. I watch his weekly reactions, and I mean, when
does he pull off the Jason Rubin? He pulls off the EDP mask.
That would be as an Eagles fan. I couldn't even fake being an Eagles fan, let alone any other team. I do like how he used a lot of Kirk Cousins. You like that in his video? Obviously channeling some other NFC East teams. He wasn't the only one though. There's a lot of internet reaction. Twitter, of course, was quick to weigh in on Chip Kelly. Let's take a look at the first. Shannon Sharp. Chip Kelly, the GM, got Chip Kelly, the head coach, fired. We mentioned this earlier. The skill players that left the team, Jackson, McCoy, and Maclin, were not replaced. Very straightforward. We move forward to the next. The Titans can do better than Chip Kelly. Sheesh, they'd be foolish to hire him. Mike Freeman was one of the first to weigh in on that one. Two interesting facts from ESPN Stats and Info. For those who are wondering if fired NFL coach should head to college job, there are currently only 2 football series at FBS is football, college football, whatever. Head coaching jobs open. Ball State and Texas State. Next was another ESPN Stats and Info fact. Chip Kelly's the first Eagles coach to finish his tenure without a playoff win since Buddy Ryan. I was not even born yet. So that's before my memory. And one of my favorites, I'd pay some good money to see LeSean and DeSean's text conversation right about meow. And lastly, the one that got the most traction was Emmanuel Aco. Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Chris?
Yeah, I don't think he really had absolute power. I mean, he did over the personnel and the coaching decisions, but clearly he was checked by all the, in some ways in a bad way, by all the fan negativity and the media negativity. And so, he exercised his power foolishly, and the reaction was basically what
it was warranted. It was warranted. I mean,
Yeah.
look, and Philly's not an easy place to
They also
coach.
floated some like DeSean Jackson has gang ties.
Yeah, I remember that.
And there
one.
wasn't really substantiated. I mean, he grew up in a rough neighborhood. He had some friends who, this is
that was
just common that your friends, are into some stuff, but they're your friends from when you were a kid. And he was still friends with them, but he never did anything. He wasn't like doing anything criminal.
Right.
He was, and
That's true.
And so for that reason, which was a little shady, they get rid of him. And he's lighting it up for the Redskins, who are now in the playoffs. Last year, DeSean Jackson, 13 catches of 40 yards or more, the most since Randy Moss in 1998. So you have a guy who could take the top off the defense like that. You get rid of him on a sort of a flimsy, borderline racist premise. And I'm not saying he's racist. I mean, that's what LeSean McCoy said. But I just think that's a little bit like, he's got gang ties. I thought that was kind of weak, and that was probably the player that I think was most valuable that they let go.
Yeah, I agree with that. He was an instrumental part of a fantasy championship that I had in last year, and of course the other years when he did a couple of those 10-plus catches of 40 yards or more. He was the better deep threat. Yeah. He also ruined the Giants' miracle at the Meadowlands too, but we're not going to get into that. Comment below with Chip Kelly. Your comments, your thoughts. Where will he go to next? Back to college, stay in the NFL. Where do you think he ends up? Make sure to follow Chris at Chris_Liss on Twitter, and check out rotowire.com for his observations and Beating the Book columns as well. Myself at JasonRuber91. We'll see you next week.